pienso seguirla llevando. A mi modo aprendí de mujeres, poco a poco me he ido enseñando, unas veces gozando con ellas y otras veces por ellas llorando. A mi modo que sea mi sepelio, que se sirva tequila y cerveza, que me toque el norteño y la banda, que ninguna cara.
I'll tell you, Bobby, I don't get tired of hearing this song. I love this song, man. Mi modo. Yes. Hey, brother Chris, we got you all the way from the Philippines. But, brother, before we introduce you and we find out what we're all drinking and smoking tonight, let's give a warm welcome to everybody that's watching us. We got our brother, JC, watching us from Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C., serving our country. Everybody's like, we got type of feedback going on. You guys, please check. Chris, if you don't mind, check. Make sure you don't have anything else on, a television nearby or the show live. Because if you could turn it off live. If you don't mind, check. Make sure you don't have anything else on, a television nearby or the show live.
Is that better?
Yeah, if you don't mind, just turn off the show live that you have, not the camera, but the show live, because we got feedback. Let's see now. No, I think we're okay now. Yeah, if you don't mind, just turn off the show live that you have, not the camera, but the show live, because we got feedback. Let's see now. Well, I think we're okay now.
We're okay? We're okay now?
Yeah, but it seems like it's replaying over and over again. Do you have another camera up somewhere, or do you have
on your computer,
YouTube television?
On your computer, look and make sure you don't have a YouTube set up.
Oh, wait a minute, that's possible.
That's where it is.
Okay, he'll come back on.
Yeah, he'll come back on.
Yeah, all of a sudden, man, I start hearing it. But guys, before he comes on, Ceci, welcome, sister from Riverside, drinking her glass or a cup of water. Bienvenida, hermana. We got Dim DeJanis, our brother, man, all the way from Thailand. Brother, I loved yesterday's video on your work. Keep them coming. I enjoy them. Don't drink and drive. Get online. Salutations. Hope everyone is okay from the heat. We got the San Diego PD gang detective, Christopher Kilby, the legend for San Diego PD. We got our brother from Long Beach, BJ Juarez. And we got the legend, man, Benny Cruz. We're going to talk about you at the end of the show, Big Benny. Bienvenido once again, my brother. Okay, it looks like he's on now. Let's bring him on. Let's see. The legend, man, Benny Cruz. We're going to talk about you at the end of the show, Big Benny. Bienvenido once again, my brother. Okay, it looks like he's on now. Let's bring him on. Let's see. The legend, man, Benny Cruz. We're going to talk about you at the end of the show, Big Benny. Okay, what's going on with his camera, Bobby? What's going on?
I could see it.
Where are we getting double feedback?
Yeah, we're getting double feedback. Is it maybe a phone? Is it on a phone?
Bobby, what's going on?
I could see it.
Where are we getting double feedback?
Yeah, we're getting double feedback. Is it maybe a phone? Is it on a phone?
Bobby, what's going on?
Let me double check. Let me make sure.
It's not. I don't think it's from my end. I have nothing on.
Let me double check.
It's not. I don't think it's from my end. I have nothing on.
You know what? It has to be. You know what? Do me a favor. Log off again and then log back on if you don't mind.
Okay. Right.
Or if you have a phone, turn off your phone. Power it off your phone.
You know what? Do me a favor. Log off again and then log back on if you don't mind. He might have it on his phone.
Yeah, it might be on your phone.
You know, do me a favor. Log off again and then log back on if you don't mind. He might have it on his phone.
Yeah, it might be on your phone.
Do me a favor. Log off again and then log back on if you don't mind. He might have it on his phone.
Yeah, it might be on your phone.
Well, it's when we went live that it started because our conversation wasn't like this earlier.
Yeah.
Log off and log back on again, Chris. You don't mind? Live that it started because our conversation. Yeah, it's definitely coming on his end. You think it might be his internet from the Philippines?
Could be a delay. I don't know. It might be a delay. Let's see.
Let's see when he comes back.
But you know what? There was no when we were talking before. Remember?
Yeah, there was nothing. Even right now, you and I. So it's not from our end. It's from his end. Let's
Okay,
see.
well, while we're waiting for him, I want to do a quick, or go ahead and finish your shout outs there.
No, go ahead, brother. Do your shout out.
Yesterday, we had 2 Phoenix police officers shot. We're very lucky. They were ambushed they saw a guy breaking into a car. They got a foot chase. Guy kind of like went around the corner and waited for the officers to come around the corner and opened up on them. One officer took rounds to the vest, saved him. Officer Matthew Haney took rounds to the vest. He's been released. Officer Zane Coolidge took one through the neck. He's in very serious or critical condition right now, fighting for his life at Good Samaritan Hospital. So appreciate prayers for both our officers, especially Officer Zane Coolidge, who's still in the hospital fighting for his life right now. Suspect was arrested. He was a drug addict that just got out of prison in middle of July. Been in and out of prison. So just prayers for our 2 officers.
Was a suspect shot and killed by law enforcement?
No, he got around the corner and cranked off rounds. They found him in a backyard. The air unit found him with a canine. Because the first officer that got hit stopped to give aid to his partner, gave out directions, and then they found the other guy down the street.
Wow. Yeah, prayers for them, brother. Definitely, without a doubt, man. Prayers for him. All right, let's give okay, brother. Let's see how we're doing now. Wow. Yeah, prayers for them, brother.
How are we now?
Without a doubt, man. Prayers for him. Yeah, you know what? We're getting that feedback once again. Let's see. Okay, it's okay. The way we're going to do it is going to be like this. There's something with the internet over there, but we're not going to give up on this show. It's going to be a great show. What I'm going to do when we're talking, I'm going to mute you. Now that's going to solve the problem. And then when we ask you the question, Chris, when you're talking, I'm going to unmute you. Is that okay? Okay. Yeah, that's going to solve the problem. All right, Chris, welcome to the show. Bobby's going to do the intro, but before we do the intro, I want to talk a little bit about your book. I'm going to mute you. Here we go, brother. All right. Guys, hey, we apologize. Prior to the show, we practiced. Everything was okay, but this, for whatever reason, we're not going to give up. I think this will be a solution. It's going to be a great, outstanding show. But guys, before we get started, if you get a chance, buy this book. It's only $12.95. It's Cocaine Cowboys. I literally read it probably in about 6 hours, and I'm a slow reader. It's a pretty thin book. It is very, very interesting. Today, we're going to be talking about the book. Next week, we're going to be talking about the movie that he was a case agent on. It's called The Infiltrator. At the end of the show, I'll show it. Maybe you could watch it during the week. So when he comes on next week, you have any questions, you could ask him. I'll tell you, it's going to be an outstanding show. With that said, let me just read real briefly his resume. We got Chris Hastings coming all the way from the Philippines. He's the author of Cocaine Cowboys, Uncensored, and he was also the case agent on the movie The Infiltrator. Chris grew up in Merritt Island, which is by Cape Kennedy. His father was in the military, and he also worked for our country. He worked there at NASA. From right there, he went to University South Florida here in Tampa, where he got his bachelor's degree. Right during his senior year, he applied with the U.S. Customs. He did over 20 years with the U.S. Customs, and that's where the book comes in. He was hired in 1979, right before the cocaine wars, right before Pablo Escobar was killed, and so forth. So he's going to talk a lot about that. And also, when he retired, he got a job as a private contractor for some of our biggest intelligence agencies in the United States, without mentioning their name. He did several years with them. And Chris, like I said, man, is an outstanding individual. With that said, Chris, welcome to the show, brother. He did several years with them. And Chris, like I said, man, is an outstanding individual. With that said, Chris, welcome to the show, brother.
Thank you thank you very much for having me.
Chris, like I said, man, is an outstanding individual. With that said, Chris, welcome to the show, brother.
Thank you thank you very much for having me.
You know what, Bobby? It keeps repeating. What do you think? It's going to be a long process.
Let me say, I wonder if it could. I mean, we were talking earlier on
Yeah,
the
we were
three of us.
fine before.
No problem.
Yeah.
It'll be a long process. What do you think it could be? I mean, we were talking earlier, no problem. We were talking earlier on
Yeah, we were fine before.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, guys. You know what? It's going to be a long night. Why don't we just cancel tonight's show, and maybe we could stay on after we cancel tonight's show, practice a little bit more, and then we could maybe come on tomorrow, because I would definitely want to do next week. So we could just do next week, or do a 2-hour show next week. Instead of 1 hour show, we'll do a 2-hour show next week. And you know what? We'll be able to do it. But listen, I'm going to go ahead, guys. It's going to be next week, a 2-hour show. Let me go ahead and just mute Chris real quick, because it's pretty annoying repeating ourselves. And Chris, don't hang up right now. Bobby, don't hang up. We're going to not practice, just make sure we're going to get this right. So next week, we're going to have a 2-hour show. We'll start off with the Cocaine Cowboys. It gives you a chance to buy the book. You'll get it in 2 or 3 days. Buy the book, watch the movie. Next week, we'll have a 2-hour show. With that said, guys, we will see you next week. Bobby, any last words, brother?
Nothing. We'll see you next week. And like I said, prayers for our 2 officers. I said one of them's been released. The other one, just found out earlier, a few minutes ago. They say he's fighting for his life. So prayers for him.
Well, without a doubt, brother. But listen, before we go, I just want to announce that starting next week on the gray line, the story behind the blue line, we're going to have a special episode at 6:00, the legend Benny Cruz. We're going to be talking about his life story, what high school he went to, why did he want to be a police officer. We're going to profile 1 or 2 of his main cases, but we're going to find out who Benny Cruz is and why he's the legend that he is. So please watch it next week at, once again, September 10th at 6 p.m. And then the day later, The Infiltrator at 5 o'clock. And we're going to do a 2-hour show next week. With that said, thank you very much. And I apologize. There's some things that we just can't control. And this is one of them. And we will see you next week. God bless you.
Used to spend my nights out in ballroom. Liquor was the only love I'd known. But you rescued me from reaching for the bottom and brought me back. Far gone. You're as smooth as Tennessee whiskey.